Hey, what's up, guys? Mike WACKER here at Black Hole Jiu-Jitsu. I'm here to talk about, my preparation mentally for a fight camp and my upcoming tournaments. First off, it is nothing compared to what you guys are dealing with. You guys, each and every day, have your own battles, and something that I truly look up to, and I wish you all the best.
What I want to do is kind of talk about your journey when you're preparing for a fight and your mindset before you walk into the cage, on the mat, something like that. Because, us MS warriors, us fighters, we have to be used to fighting that battle every day. It's something that just never stops.
I've been training and competing for over 20 years, and I think the most important thing is the people around you in your support system. Anybody could lift weights or train, but not anybody has special people around them. So the network we have here at Black Hole is really big. So the weight's easy. You stay in shape. The positive mindset is super important, but we have good people around us that push you, that keep you positive. And I think if you go in with a positive mindset, you're confident, and that's the key. And I think that's similar to fighting any type of sickness or disease, is staying positive and having important people around you.
How important a support system is, and with MS, it's super important to have your cornermen and your training partners, and that's how I was kind of correlating it with that support that we have as a family here at Black Hole, or most jiu-jitsu, MMA schools for that matter. How important do you think that is?
It's everything, right? As much as jiu-jitsu or MMA is an individual sport, without a team behind you and without solid training partners, you're nothing. You could be the most athletic person in the world, but if you don't have that person or your teammates to guide you in the right direction, to make sure that you're not skipping practice, to make sure you're doing the little things right each and every day, you're gonna fail. There's always gonna be someone better than you, right? There's always gonna be that obstacle that you can't get through, right? And you gotta learn how to kick the door down. And sometimes it's easy to mentally quit, right? For me, it's like injuries. For whatever reason, if my body breaks down, I get frustrated and I don't want to go to practice, right? But you fall back on the people that are there for you each and every day, and they're like, look, you have more important goals to reach, right? If you don't have that, it's easy to say shit. It's too much.
Yeah. MS is something that these people deal with every day. There's a ton of different symptoms. It deals with these lesions in your brain that control different areas of your body. Some people, they can't walk for 6 months, or they might never be able to walk again. There's brain fog, obviously, with me, with my eyes. There's all these different things that can happen. So it's almost like you can't train, or you can't just prepare yourself for one symptom. You have to prepare yourself for all these different things. That's why I score like mixed martial arts really encompasses the fight that these guys are seeing. You got to be good at kickboxing, boxing, wrestling, jiu-jitsu, and you got to prepare for their attributes that are coming at you too. So when you step into the cage, right, which is basically when the symptoms hit them, or their relapses are happening or something like that, and they're going to the hospital, what type of mindset do you have when you step into the cage, to make sure you're defeating this opponent?
Yeah, like you just said, sometimes it comes down to, a life or death situation where a day might hit and you really have to battle through it, And that day, fight day is always a day where you step into the cage and, you told me before my fight, they're in the cage with me. I'm not in it with them, and the same thing with MS, you're fighting for your life when you're in that cage, although you have someone there to step in between, but you're fighting for your life, and I think that's really a huge aspect of it, is having that mental toughness to believe in yourself that I can get through this, I can win this fight, I can beat this MS,
Yeah, I tell people all the time, I have MS, MS doesn't have me.
Yeah.
Right? So you just got to keep fighting, and just like these pro fighters that we've been talking to, go in there, lock MS in the cage with you, and don't let it out. So Mike, what's your mindset when you're entering the cage for a fight?
Winning. Winning. Hurting him. I think about the worst possible things that I could ever imagine. Catching the submission, making sure I'm dominant in each and every spot, imposing my will and making it work. I mean, that's the only thing you can think about. If you think about anything different, that's when you lose.
Yeah.
You know, I hate when guys go in and they're like, well, you know, I'm just going out there to do the very best that I possibly can. Well, no, that's what training is for, right? When you go into training, you do the best that you can, you work on stuff, and, you know, whatever happens, it happens, right? When you're in a competition, it counts. I mean, you know, when you're in a competition, it counts. And I do not like losing. I don't even like losing at Monopoly. All right, so
Flipped a couple of Monopoly boards.
So you know, when it comes to jiu-jitsu or MMA, man, I don't want to lose. So as soon as that cage door closes, or you know, they announce my name in jiu-jitsu, I'm ready to go. I'm ready to win.
On those days where your body just feels beat up, because that happens obviously anytime you're training, what do you do to really make sure you take that extra step to get out there?
So I think the correlation and the parallel is pretty much there, because when preparing for a competition, you really only have two outcomes. You can do the work and potentially see a result you want, or the alternative, which is something that you very much would not want to occur. So with MS, in the case of waking up with severe symptoms, feeling awful, you have a choice. You can be proactive or not. Symptoms can get worse, or they can potentially get better. No guarantees, but things can improve. Preparing for a fight is the very same way. You wake up beat up, feeling awful, dehydrated, you know, often with no guarantees of an outcome, but you're pushing in the direction of improvement, and not pursuing nothing.
So I tell everybody, MS is that fight that I've been preparing for my whole life, but I didn't sign up for, you know? So when you're stepping on that mat, right, and you're just about to shake hands with the guy, that's kind of like a flare-up or an episode for these people. Like, how do you get your mind right to where you just know you can't let yourself fail at that point?
I think it's like anything. Mindset is similar to a skill where it just takes practice. You know, repetition over and over. I'm sure when you first developed MS, you weren't nearly as confident with it as you are now.
Oh, no, I was scared to death.
Yeah, and if you had handled it the wrong way from the start, and you didn't have a motivated team or friends to support you, you may not have taken such a good action when you first were dealing with it. Maybe, you know, I don't know what could happen. Drug use, poor life choices, you know, dissociation of good character, those kinds of things. And making the right choice a few times will lead to making it a whole bunch more in the future. So I guess repetition, you know.
How do you make sure that, you know, you're mentally prepared to get on the mat, to be able to train that day and still give it your all?
Oh yeah, the diet's super important. I mean, it all starts with, you know, A to Z, having a good night's rest, staying hydrated. You know, if I just drink a coffee and work all day and don't fuel myself properly, it's going to be hard to get up off the couch after work and make it to class. So, you know, eating healthy, staying hydrated, you know, taking your vitamin, you might not notice it, but it definitely makes a difference, and keeps your eyes open, keeps you active, and definitely plays a part in getting you here, in addition to the mental part.
I always talk about how important the training is. Kind of like, if I train every day, if I treat my body right, I'll be ready for that big fight, you know, when I'm getting in the cage, going on the mat, something like that. And that's why I tell everybody how important it is to make sure that you're lifting, you know, getting the proper sleep, diet. So when that relapse happens, right, we always get those relapses, you know, an episode, something like that. That's kind of like fight day. Like, now your body's got to be ready. You know, you've been training it, things like that. So what's your mindset when you're walking on the mat or in a cage or something like that to beat that opponent?
Yeah, for me personally, you always have thoughts leading up to it, and you know, you put in the effort every single day. You surround yourself with people that are going to help you, and at that moment, you're going to be ready to handle it because of all the preparation you made prior to that point. So when that day is here, you know, whether it's a bad day or a fight, you're going to be able to handle it to the best of your ability, much better than somebody that didn't prepare prior to it.